Hello and welcome to Wednesday Wrestling Reviews. Let's start off with Raw. Raw and both SmackDown opens up with a tribute to Bruno Sammartino. After that, Brock Lesnar comes to the ring. Paul Heyman talks about gloating over beating Roman Reigns and how Brock will beat up Roman in a steel cage. Blah, 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 blah. I was bored. Talking for 20 minutes. Finally, Roman comes out and he talks about coming home with the title from the greatest Royal Rumble. Finally, we get to a match Elias versus Bobby Roode. Elias does his concert thing, but Bobby's entrance cuts it off. Figure that Bobby will win since it's his Raw debut. After a back and forth entertaining match, surprising roll up pin by Elias wins the match. The Ascension Victor and Connor versus the leader of worlds, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Was rooting for the leader of worlds. After an entertaining match, Matt and Bray won. The Sammy and Kevin show. They brag about going to win the Royal Rumble match. Then they bring out Kurt Angle. Funny bit where they get him a cheap lawn chair to sit in. They then complain about Shane McMahon. As entertaining back and forth put downs, Kurt then announces that they will be in a tag match versus Strowman and Bobby Lashley. The Miz entourage, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel try to become Seth Rollins' entourage, but Seth turns them down. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre versus Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews. Rooted for Ziggler and McIntyre. Short match with Ziggler and McIntyre win with a tag team Claymore and Zigzag. They had a good promo after the match. Kurt Angle brings in Chad Gable saying he'll be a single competitor. Jinder Mahal comes to complain about losing his title and then insults Chad by calling him the kid Strowman had for a tag partner and then mini-me. Chad takes offense and Kurt makes him have a match. Jinder Mahal versus Chad Gable. Jinder attacks Chad before match even starts. Chad gets to his feet and match starts. Mahal mostly dominates, but Chad gets bits of offense in here and there. Disappointingly, Jinder goes for the Colossus, but Chad gets a quick roll-up pin victory. Renee interviews Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan, and Ruby Riott, the Riott Squad. They claim to dominate in the 10-woman tag match main event tonight. Samoa Joe claims to be waiting for Roman Reigns at Backlash. The former Mistress tries to join Finn Balor. They are again turned down. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. Comical start where KO and Sami tried running in and out of ring, but finally caught. KO and Sami tagging in and out, beat on Lashley for a while. Finally, Strowman's tagged in and he dominates. Then tags Lashley briefly in to finally go back to win with his power slam. Baron Corbin versus No Way Jose. Definitely rooting for the Lone Wolf, but Baron Corbin complains about No Way Jose's conga line being a setup and refuses to fight. No Way Jose leads his conga line out and Baron Corbin jumps him when he's alone and leaves him lying after a choke slam backbreaker. Bliss comes out to say Nia is a bully in a funny speech that is an obvious lie. Finn Balor and Seth Rollins versus the former Miz-Taraj, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, which is because they complained about them trying to join them, I guess, or something was the storyline. Figured the Miz-Taraj was going to get beat and truthfully had no interest in this match. Surprise, Finn and Seth win in this short match. Nia Jax, Ember Moon, Natalya, Sasha Banks, and Bayley versus Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Alexa Bliss, and Mickie James. Felt this was a pointless 10-woman tag match, but since it was the women, it was entertaining. I rooted for the Riott Squad, Bliss, and Mickie team. Match ends when Natalya, injured in match by Mickie James, keeps attacking until Ronda Rousey comes out. Mickie attacks Ronda, who then puts Mickey in an armbar, causing the Riot Squad, Alexa Bliss, and Mickey James to win by DQ. Now let's move on to SmackDown. The Miz comes out to do Miz TV. He brags he will win the Intercontinental Championship at the Greatest Royal Rumble. He invites his guest Daniel Bryan to come out and punch him in the face. Instead, Big Cass comes out dressed to the nines. Big Cass complains about Daniel Bryan stealing his return. And then Becky Lynch and Asuka are heading to the ring, but they find people attending to a beat up Daniel Bryan. The Iconics are in the ring. They brag about being so cute and make fun of Becky Lynch and Asuka. Becky Lynch and Asuka versus the Iconics, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. This was a fun and entertaining match, but it was a little annoying not hearing some of it because they put it in the corner while commercials played. A surprising upset when Peyton Royce surprise roll-up pin on Becky Lynch. Renee interviews AJ Styles, who reveals there will be a six-man tag later. Shinsuke Nakamura, Rusev, and Aiden English versus AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. Uso's in back with Naomi. She doesn't agree not to go to the ring because she's worried about them facing the Bludgeon Brothers. Eric Rowan with Luke Harper versus Jimmy Uso with Jey Uso. When Eric is about to win, Naomi does her actual entrance, distracting the Bludgeon Brothers, allowing Jimmy Uso to roll up Eric Rowan for a surprise win. Carmella and Charlotte Flair's contract signing, hosted by Renee. Carmella comes out first and brags about herself and complains about being disrespected. She even replays her highlight reel. She's going to play it again, but Flair finally comes out. Charlotte sits paying no mind to Carmella, who keeps showing off and signs the contract. She goes, woo, and Carmella gets in her face. But Flair rubs her head into the table, then flips the table on top of her. Then Flair leaves. Jeff Hardy versus Shelton Benjamin. Instead, though, Jeff Hardy stops, and it turns into Randy Orton versus Shelton Benjamin with Jeff Hardy at announcer's table. Due to a sneak attack by Sunil Singh on Jeff, distracts Orton, who loses to Shelton Benjamin by a pager. New Day and the Bar confront each other in a funny promo. AJ and the club have a back locker room reunion. Renee interviews Daniel Bryan, who confirms it was Big Cass who attacked him in a one-on-one match at Greatest Royal Rumble. Samoa Joe says he'll win the Intercontinental title at Greatest Royal Rumble, beat up Roman Reigns at Backlash. Six-man tag, Shinsuke Nakamura, Rusev, and Aiden English versus AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows. Usually I don't like pointless tag matches, but this one was entertaining enough. Shinsuke wins by surprise blind tag in and surprise attack on Luke Gallows. After the match, AJ attacks Shinsuke, but Shinsuke low blows him again and goes to deliver a kick to AJ, but Carl Anderson takes it. Then Shinsuke attacks Carl again with another kick, as AJ is too weak, fails to stop it. Now let's move on to 205 Live. Jake Maverick, the general manager, opens show announcing Drew Gulak versus Tony Nese versus Kalisto versus T.J. Perkins versus Mustafa Ali in a gauntlet match with winner facing Cedric Alexander for title at the Greatest Royal Rumble match. I was really looking forward to this. The match starts with Mustafa Ali versus T.J. Perkins. I was rooting for TJP and a little disappointing he was starting this. During match, Tasha interviews Cedric, who basically says he knows whoever wins this match will be challenged, but he'll defend. Though TJP worked on his knee, Mustafa Ali won with his 054 off the top rope. So the second match was Mustafa Ali versus Drew Gulak. Rooting for Gulak. Drew Gulak worked heavily on Mustafa's leg, and finally Gulak wins by KO when he pushes off Ali off the top rope and he hits the steps. 3. Drew Gulak versus Tony Nese. Still rooting for Drew Gulak. Despite Tony beating on Drew most of the match, Drew gets him to tap out. Drew Gulak versus Kalisto. Still rooting for Drew Gulak. During the match, Tasha tries to interview Tony Nese, but Tony ignores her. Kalisto wins with the Sol Del Rey. The other luchas come out to celebrate. Cedric comes out clapping. Very entertaining show. Next was NXT. Undisputed Era comes to the ring. They brag about all the gold they have. Oney Larkin versus Adam Cole, NXT North American Championship. Adam Cole is defending the title with injured ribs. Adam Cole has the rest of the Undisputed Era help him cheat to win and defend. After match, they team up beating on Larkin, and Danny comes out to help them, but he gets beat up too. Heavy Machinery versus Tony Sabatelli and Roderick Moss. This was a pointless tag match, and I didn't really care who won. Heavy Machinery wins with their trash compactor move after Tino leaves his partner high and dry. After match, Heavy Machinery talks about Challenge War Raiders. Between matches, all the women talk smack about new women's champ. Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano, NXT title match. Before Johnny even makes it to the ring, Tommaso Ciampa jumps in, fighting back and forth until Ciampa puts him through a table. They take Johnny out on a stretcher. Aleister never even comes out, but he passes as they put him in an ambulance, and Ciampa watches the ambulance leave on top of a truck. Aleister Black goes to ring to be confronted by Insanity. Aleister Black versus Eric Young with Insanity for NXT title. I didn't know if it was or not. They never really stated. Didn't know who to root for, liked both a lot, but figured Eric Young would lose since Insanity is going to the main roster. After a highly entertaining back and forth match, Aleister Black finally wins with Black Mass kick. The other two members of Insanity try to jump Aleister, but he leaves them laying with Black Mass kicks as well. This week in interesting wrestling was pretty interesting, and I enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, ring that notification bell to keep up with the latest videos, comment below to let me know what you thought. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and you can support the channel through Patreon. Links are in the video description below. Thank you very much.